Especially on Miramar.
On Miramar. These guys need to step up. Absolutely.
If there's a tornado in the sandstorm, that's what happens.
Exactly. So I want to see them step up, justify us using it, and have a great game that shows us the tornado mastery that we saw in the last stage.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Heading over to the commentary team. Once again, it's game number 3. It's the PEL qualifiers. To moves on to the Pro League.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Pro League. I think that's what I call it at the end of that. I'm Lee Demon Smith, and joining me is Lauren Pansy Scott. And it does look like Tournament Armada is the switch for reciprocity. We were just talking about it before. Yeah. Like they were screwed trying to get to Alcantara. So I've got to get my accents on it as well.
Of course, of course.
I feel like I'm saying everything in Finnish as well at the moment. I don't know why. Like, literally, like I just like, it's Chris. I was like, why am I saying Chris's German name in Finnish right now? Why is this happening?
So the one thing that stands out to me is Rec always do reactive drops here. Not surprising. Wherever the plane path goes, they want to go to the first place possible, spend as long time looting. The one thing I'm looking at now is Raise Your Edge have been going towards this side of the map as well. So I don't know if they've been pushed out or if they're happy here, if that's going to be a potential issue for them. But you've got 3 really big teams in a very small area that doesn't normally get that much sort of attention in these level of games. And that circle is, again, quite far away.
I feel like Alpachinki are kind of just lost right now. They don't really know where they want to go. I mean, they were in Torre Armada before. El Pozo's kind of their loots. That's their normal drop zones. It reminds me of Alliance from Group A, right? They were like, yeah, we couldn't get our drop zones. It's like, adapt, guys. Adapt. Go to other places.
You kind of need to.
For example, like, obviously Power Station was open the whole time. There's a lot of places open. Valadamar absolutely was droppable, but nobody's going there right now. So Alpachinki, instead of going for this like weird split loot all down the south, Team Ready, of course, in Kumasera, they're happy right now. Picardo happy for Gamers Legion, guys. The Sauna Boys doing very well at the moment. They are on the edge of El Pozo, and of course the circle gun is a similar circle to game number 1. So Monte Nuevo obviously focused on the central point. A lot of the teams probably looking at that last game, especially TSM, who got caught cold on the edge of El Pozo. So they're going to be thinking about the rotations. If you think about the rotations we had, I think we had about 7 teams that tried to come down the south here. And kind of got caught out. Obviously, think of the Jokers, who just did very well in that last game. They got absolutely screwed in that match first out.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. I mean, I think this circle being slightly further north will allow longer rotations around the north for some of the teams in the northwest side. Oh, sorry, excuse me, northeast side. At least that'll keep it available. I think that's the one big difference, because before it was locked down to the south. That was really quite tricky.
It was also a fairly... what's the word I'm after? Western Plain.
Yes.
I don't know why I can't remember west. I don't know. What's the sign? North,
never
east, south,
eat
west.
Shredded
Never eat shredded wheat, indeed.
Naughty elephant squirt water?
That one I've never heard.
Really?
Never eat shredded wheat. It's the normal one.
Are you saying I'm abnormal? Nice one. So,
well, naughty elephant squirt water. I don't know where that came from.
I don't know.
Is that's like a? I guess you told that as a kid, right? That's the best way to squirt water. So you learn it.
That is exactly how I sound when that happens. But we are just going to see how things go. I don't see any early sort of scuffles really happening. I think the Sauna Boys warded away Tornado early on, but that's about it. But as saying that, I don't know what they've been able to find.
I wonder if Koffos is trying to get to that same compound that they won from. I wonder if he's heading. He's going early, very
early, yeah.
And I wonder if he's going to try and go for it. Is this one just to the right, right? Where he was? It looks like it is. You're just thinking, we got this, boys. We know where we're going. Yep, same compound. Absolutely the same place.
Okay.
So this was the... No, tell a lie. He's gone into the shack, I think. No, he was in that compound. It was that compound, yeah. That was the compound that QRH were in before. So they won the game, of course. It finished just over the road. So they're thinking, well, I mean, you got to remember the whole western edge is, like, as Moses said, it's kind of like water. You just can't go in it. Just that sheer rock line. And that's, well, it's a decent crate. You know, you're always happy when you got to scroll down the crate. Groza in there, though.
Feels good.
Not the best.
Hey, I don't mind a Groza. It's a nice gun. I'll have that. I'll have a bit of that.
There's that player to have it.
That's that's not bad
Best
at all.
Best in level 3 gear. I mean, that's enough.
He's already got an M24 as well.
On his back.
He's got
no way
he's
got
7.6. Of course, surely he will.
Is he?
He should do.
Okay, yeah.
No,
he's taking it. He's taking it. Okay.
Have a go on that. The Groza's sick. You just got some sort of aversion to it.
It used to be a badass
It's
weapon.
Still great.
I'm not sold. No. Used to be, but then again, that's probably because it used to be so overpowered. I guess it's not as.
I guess it just got brought back into line essentially.
But he's picked himself that up, so you know, fear Red Diamonds at the best of times, but they haven't had a massive performance yet. But it is only early days, 3 games in. And look how Pachinki split. They're still all over the shop right now, down the bottom south there.
They've got a lot of loot to get through. I mean, it's just, you've got to time it right where those rotations toward the southern side don't start costing you potential players. As long as they still feel relatively safe that they can pull themselves in at the right time and they won't get caught by any of the teams northeast of them, they're okay. But we saw a couple of teams getting the timing wrong and going to very central compounds. I want to look at Rec for that as well. I want to see how their rotations really come into play. They are on the move and they are going to the northern side, which is what we kind of theorized would be their route here, because that circle is slightly further to the north, allowing this route to be available to a couple more teams. I'm looking to see if Vanguard do it. It looks like they're not. They're going to go for a different approach. Potentially Raise Your Edge are going to do the same thing. TSM, another name that their rotation somehow worked out well for them. I think it's because one of the players who was in front of them went in first to that southeast crunch on one of the circles, and they kind of got warded away by proxy of it. But this time they might not be so lucky, so they need to find their little safe haven for now, as all the other teams are starting their way forward.
Ooh, Vanguard, they're coming out. Are they really going to take a full south route? I reckon they might, you know.
Road trip.
I reckon they're going to go all the way down to Porto Paraíso. Gotta get my pronunciations right. I might get told off. Or, yeah, and maybe come in. I mean, Avangard's rotations were pretty good before. Yeah. They always sort of try and come in on the furthest point from where the circle has moved away from. Courage. You know, they've already been shot at once passing this route, but they're still doing it again. Despite the fact Tornado lit them up.
Go on, do it, please.
Oh, X-Team stole it. X-Team stole it away from him, but I'm pretty sure Compot landed the shot. Either way, yeah, I mean, everybody else, like he had the goddamn 4x4. Everybody else in the Mirados is trying to hump it over the rocks, and yet he had the 4x4 and decides to go, no, I'll just go straight down the road, boys. I got this. Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry. And then Compot rolls it. No. He's all right. He's got it. He's got it.
I want it to be like when those little bugs are on their back and they can't turn over. You see
kicking the legs
wiggling around here. Sadistic child, of course. We do see another member of Courage getting caught here. Maybe having issues on trying to get so central at this point in the game. He's 7 minutes in now.
No, and he'd actually gone over the rocks. So I don't know what. Obviously, SDF had rotated. They kind of rotate early most games. Sans Domicile, they did very well to qualify. Obviously, they were the last-minute team, and Avanga are actually sending it all the way down south. Jokers are actually alongside them as well, so
they can be the litmus test for them. That's nice. Just go forward. We'll follow if it seems good. A lot of teams are trying to vie for that very central area around Monte Nuevo.
He saw the bike and he wanted it. He was like, I kind of gone too far.
Actually, hold on. Sauna Boys just got caught. I don't know if that was on rotation or what just happened.
They've gone into a
TSM might have just crashed them. I don't know how they kind of ran into each other at this point. TSM weren't in Pozo to start with, so they came in early. Maybe they're trying to split potentially and left a man in Pozo, or if he was late coming out. You're not still looting at 8 minutes. There's no way. Okay, you shouldn't be looting at 8 minutes in Pozo just haphazardly.
Well, I mean, he nearly won the last game, right, Tixu? So we'll give him a chance on that one. But yeah, he was. I
love the Sauna Boys. Not giving him that.
I'm surprised, you know, that TSM have gone into the edge of our post. They did the same thing in game number 1, and they got caught there. They were caught out. They kind of tried to. They almost split too far. Gustav was kind of left there holding the back line, but it was too big. Avangard kind of wedged in between them, and it cost them dearly. And they engaged, of course, with the Sauna Boys and Penta, I believe, at the same time. Reciprocity, meanwhile, they have gone in this big northern swing. Similar to before, similar type of approach. They're looking at the far western edge. You can see they're going to come along the hillside. And it's good because we can see there's no one there right now.
Yeah, obviously they have no idea of that, but they've made it this far, haven't received a single shot towards them. So they've got to be feeling like, okay, this is a good choice. Obviously, hard shift is going to make it tricky, but that central mass is so swarmed. Joker's en route, of Vanguard still on the longest potential way forward. Accelerate as well, doing quite a long way around it. Raise Your Edge are going northern side as theorized. We kind of discussed that was available because they were slightly over towards the other edge of things. Penta as well, going to have to be a little cautious. They know that they cannot go central here. They can just play off the edge. And it's going to be hard shift that are going to make this very tricky.
I like the 2-2 that Gamer Legion have gone with. Obviously, there's a lot of decent compounds on this western side, and it almost certainly will pull probably this way. It's not unless it goes further off the map, in which case,
I mean, who knows?
Well, you never know. We've
seen stranger things.
As soon as we ended up on that island, I never really know where the hell we're going, to be honest. But they've got this 2-2 split. And it's a decent split. It's not really coverable. I think actually 2 of them are in the ditch of Monte Nuevo, or are they on the edge of Monte Nuevo? I can't tell. Beautiful death. What are you going for there?
What happened?
But they've also gone 2-2 split. I think Met can go again back up. Oh, no, it won't. It's 6 months next time.
I don't know where that happened. I'm genuine. Who knows? Ansvar, show us what happened. Oh, wait.
If only.
If only. Oh, did that tag? Or was that just like the tag at the same time?
That's.
I
reckon I hit.
There was a blood like splatter, and ooh. Yes, more of that.
This is what. Do you think? You know. Obviously, there's always the classic memes of like you do that 800-meter shot and you get into the band. Do you reckon that's in? Wouldn't it be amazing? Like, bam, dead into. You're like, hey.
What just happened?
No, we don't have the software, I believe, on enable. We're on the LAN client, of course. We are here in Minsk. Everybody on site, and everybody with a chance to make it through to the.
Oh, here comes. This is the one that's gonna be fun for me. I want to see where this goes.
Yep, similar circle.
Not everyone. I tell a lie. Vast majority are in. Rec have a nice avenue of approach because they get a lot of that western side uncontested. I don't know what the terrain's like for them. That's the one issue. I would say all the teams coming in now are in a really tricky situation because...
again.
How does he work
So he got the
out?
crate last time. It's good. Avangard are going to take this road and come in pretty much next to... what can't I remember? Team Ready, for some reason. They're going to go to Ladrilla. It's a sort of a standard path they've been taking. And accelerate. Remember last time they came in on the western edge, were gifted it. This time is not going to be the case because Sans Domicile is still holding on to that. TSM...
You're looking at this point
they
for
tried to go
places
to the fields, but that's... Penta are just forcing away.
Yeah, this might have been them looking for options, and they've just been told no. Pull themselves back in. I think you've just spotted the 2-2 split from Penta as well. They got warded away from one side. TSM going to consolidate towards the western side of the little, I guess, ridge around the edge of those fields. I don't know if they should really try and move further than this right now. I know it's always tempting to try and just compress a little further, but you've got Sauna Boys in your way, you've got Tornado in your way, you've got Penta in your way. It's not going to be easy. Maybe going to try 2-2. It looks like Rory's off on a bit of a walkabout. M19, one of the players did get halted in his tracks, potentially looking for their next option. And you can see on the other side, it's the Jokers slowing them down, but Trifeli has just arrived.
Yeah, they're just going to be sniping back and forward. Jokers deciding not worth. Let's try and get a little more central on this. See how close they can get, but I think they're going to be running into, well, they can hear gunfire in the distance, and that's going to be Gamers Legion and Sans Domicile. Sans Domicile forcing a 2-2 split. They've gone to that warehouse just south of Monte Nuevo, and we've seen the circle ending in on, I believe it's day 1 of Group 8. We had a finish there. M19 deciding to do the same. They're going north. They may run into Sans Domicile. Meanwhile, Penta have been found. Chris in the open as well. I feel like he might go down. I think he's just, yeah, he's got behind a ditch. Does anyone else have an angle on him? It looks like he should be safe to revive.
Timber having a little look around, spotting one of the players in the car here, tapping away with the Mini. Not going to find too many connection. Oh, tell a lie. Found the connection required. But did the kill get stolen?
Yep, SDF were right. I mean, that's where they were going. That was the reason that they were pulling up to this compound, and SDF were already there. So here's Chris getting caught out by Camcat. Wow, that was a good, quick...
That was really nice.
Couple of shots, finds the head. Avangard finally coming into the circle. Raise Your Edge also coming in on the north. So everybody inside the white now. As we see the next 2-minute phase circle. It's going to be a bit slow. People just trying to find themselves a home now.
The problem is the next circle is going to be so brutal. It's going to force so many fights. And speaking of forcing fights, Vanguard could be walking into a bit of a situation on the southern side. Not only is Team Ready there, there's already teams littered in the hillside just off to the, I guess, west of them right now, if you want to look at it that way. This is actually going to be a bit of a predicament for them to try and work out of. I don't know how much of the terrain is going to play for them. They do have a bit of cover down there. You just can't be peeking windows. It looks like Team Ready are actually falling away from some of the splits they had. And actually, Iroh is going to find one of these players as well. You can see Team Ready in a really nice position. They are getting really good lines of sight, so they can keep punishing from this in this nice 2-2 they currently hold.
Yeah, Alpachinki on the hills. Avangard wedged between the two. So Avangard was the ones that kind of forced a beautiful death. They were a little greedy to still be out there looting the warehouses or looking for terrain there. They were going for this split. Avangard quite happy to pull in. Of course, remember, Iroh found that crate. It was M249 in the crate, so I guess he didn't pick it up. Unless it's on his back there. The Mini 14. Beautiful death. Looks like he's going to join 6mo up on that side. So sticking with the 2-2. Basically, everybody now inside with 50 seconds still to go, just looking for a hole. Accelerate, by the way, who've been doing very well in these first 2 games. You can see they've now posted on the western edge here on the mountains. Pretty similar to position they had in the game just a moment ago.
This is going to be so tough. The next circle could be so brutal. There's still 16 teams up there. There's so many players still in this. All of the well, I say all. There's a lot of the small compounds here. They, in theory, if everyone does perfect rotations, they could be a chance. But Jokers are under severe fire. Actually, I just caught a glimpse of that. That's M19, whose rotations weren't phenomenal. They did find somewhere to be eventually, but Jokers. This is quite a ranged fight as well. They're taking Constantine, feeling like he's got something on here, but D-Mesh does have the 24, so there could be return fire. Do not know what they have on top of that. It could be a red dot for all I know. We will see the next circle, and that is going to screw up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 9 teams now feeling a little bit under pressure. TSM gifted something brilliant. Raise Your Edge feeling great about this. Penta still in a good spot. And a lot of the guys, the StarLadder boys, feeling great. I think Rec could do with a 2-2 split here potentially if they want to try and keep that western side available.
Gaming Legion trying to send it early. Reciprocity going to go way out on the west. Gaming Legion, they're passing by. Courage again. They're going to go into that ditch. Looks like they're going to be their home this time, though. They're going to stop here. And Sans Domicile pulling right up next to them. THZ already pops out the car. He's going to try and light up Timber as we see the M24 crate once again. Courage, we talked about them. They took this compound very early on. There is only 2 of them alive, though, because those rotations. Something caught Timber in the head there as he ducks down.
Yeah, he had a little bit of ground to go to, but I don't know why he didn't insta-prone on that. He was getting picked apart by Personal Courage on the other side of things. Really good lines of sight here. Everyone's beginning their rotations. It looks like Gaming Legion are in trouble. Timber is under fire. I don't know if he can get out of this one. The car, when it explodes, he could be in a real spot of bother.
Accelerate sending it way out east. Meanwhile, on the west, you can see Alpachinki and Avangar also pushing in. Team Ready looks like they want to go to the compound that Reciprocity have left open. So Metgunga's going to go around there. Looks like Red Diamond's happy to sit on the edge of Monte Nuevo. I'm not sure I agree with that. We'll see if it works out for them because it's quite an open run after that. Alpachinki almost gatekeeping Avangar by the looks of it, the way they've pulled up. So Avangar not wanting to get too involved in this one. We can sort of see, of course, TSM still holding position on the edge. Timber down and out. It's going to be inevitable. Sans Domicile that actually steal the kill away, though. I think it was Courage that maybe knocked him.
No, that felt like he was just caught. There was no way he was getting out of that. Avangar had to go into the blue and go the longer way around. They were getting engaged upon. You can see Raise Your Edge as well, catching people. Rustem could be in trouble. That car is not looking so hot, and neither of the others, really. If Fastro really gets some connections towards him or someone else, but he's got to be careful. They can get out and fight from here, so he cannot take that for granted.
Look where they're going. They're going straight into Wanted and Cup of Magic, so Raise Your Edge on the 2-2. It's going to work out. Squeaky's going right in towards it. We're not seeing it on the screen.
Got him.
They catch Mikaz out. Squeaky's pulled in. Squeaky's got caught out as well. And now they're in no man's land. They're going to get lit up from the other side. You can see immediately Wanted with the mutant switches around there. And Accelerate, who've done so well in the first 2 games, may go down early here.
That 2-2 on the northeast catch on the rotations is perfect from Raise Your Edge. M19, in theory, could suffer the same fate if they go into that and not realize what's happening. Hopefully for them, the fight's still going on. That's the one thing you want. And there's Wanted as well. Just caught him. Nothing you can do in that situation. You can see the support instantly comes in from Cup of Magic from the side. This is going to be very scary for a lot of these teams if they do run that northeastern side. Accelerate do have their players up and now ready to fight. So Raise Your Edge cannot overextend. They can't be too overly confident. And I think they're aware of that. Car 98 switched up to. This will be a ranged fight. They need to find their way into the circle. The 2-2 split is good, assuming they don't now get folded on by the remainders of Accelerate.
A team that was really slow to respond to this circle for me is Sans Domicile. They were pretty much centered up. And yes, it pulled away to them to the north, but they've just not moved. They're sitting in the hillside. They're just sitting there. Now they've got Jokers to the north, Gamer Legion who they've already taken shots on, Q-Rage ahead. We know there's a clear shot onto that hillside. I think they've missed a massive beat there. Everybody else is quite happily rotated around the edges of the circle, and they're just stuck.
I'm wondering how much of this Accelerate is going to hear, because they're going to hear the shots potentially from Jokers going in towards them. So this could be M19 folding into the Finns. We'll see if this route works out for them. Examples on the way. This is going to be really tough. They have found a way through. It looks like they're going to try and just be safe about this. Raise Your Edge are in the middle of the field. Maverick is kind of screwed. The circle goes south. The 2-2 split still stands, but for how long? They've caught the attention of Penta. They've got it from about 3 different sides now.
Yeah, Sauna Boys and Team Ready looking like they're about to engage. Meanwhile, Tornado, of course, they are plumb center of the circle this time around. TSM and Avangard. Avangard squeezing their way through El Pozo. They're aware that somebody is there. Accelerator off again. They did manage to get the revive.
He's got it.
But Mikhail's picked up in its fast rail. They'd already made the move again. They'd rotated into the field. You can see them there. Now they're taking shots, but they've got the smoke down. But it's picked up and benefited. 3 kills so far and counting for Razor Edge, who've had a good start to this tournament.
I am wondering where they go from here, though. This is the next thing in my mind is how do you then work off from this? The south side is about to explode, but Avangard are potentially going past TSM as well. Wookie Bookie surely is hearing this. I'm sure that Avangard are aware there is potentially people here, but it looks like TSM are playing this quite smart, but Wookie Bookie is making steps. This has surely got to have been heard.
Yeah, peeking that warehouse and trying to pass by on the western side of it and move out of the hill. And TSM are going to be careful here because if they don't start looking at this, they're going to end up being stuck, just like they were against Avangard in game number 1. They were stuck. They couldn't get out of the hills. They got caught. And now we can see Astra manages to find the tap onto Rory there, ducks down. We're literally in a repeat of game 1 here. TSM, Avangard, and Reciprocity all going to be clashing in the same spot.
And they have nowhere really to go once they take this fight. They take damage again, everything's screwed up, and then you're running into the wall of players already in place. You're seeing Tornado, Team Ready, all about to clash as well. Iroh holds the line, but they've got Tornado up on the hillside. He can't overly peek. The Sauna Boys have joined in on the fight. This is a huge third-party mess. Sixmo is ambitious to try and go for this, because look at Tornado. They could join in, but again, we're seeing nades towards them. The Sauna Boys have found them!
Reciprocity crashing around the side,
That's
straight
2 down.
into the Sauna Boys. This is exactly the same location they tried to push into last time.
It may not be TSM,
It was TSM last time, and this time the Sauna Boys, they've got them pinned there. Scoom just around the side, pokes his head a little too far. Jorski gets knocked out. That was a little underhand nade from Rafi. Might well catch out Jorski. He backs away from it enough, but look at this. Nuki's going for it.
They need
He's
to
also
trade kills.
dealt with Sixmo up on the side there. Meanwhile, TSM and Avangard, they're trying to push out towards this fight. And Rafi run!
Oh my god, that has gone horrifically. He just tagged up Scoom. They're going through all the meds that they have. This is a horrible battle. A nade, a flash, something can ruin this. Sauna Boys are having none of it. I think they peeled off from this.
TSM and Avangard are also getting engaged. M19 have found themselves in the hills. Their rotations worked out well. They're actually gate camping Razor Edge, but now Rory catches out Snoopy. You got Alpachinki in there as well, also trying to get involved in this fight as Gustav and Wookie Bookie come over the top. The nade from Onoctive just too far wide, but Snoopy's down. Avangard losing 2, but where they're going to go? They're pushing straight in towards Alpachinki, who are gatekeeping the 2 teams.
Maxi, though, spots them all out on the run. They're just silhouetting against the blue right now. He's going to try and fall away, find a better angle, potentially a nade to slow them down. Wookie Bookie off to the left side, though, could fire back. That smoke is quite thick. It's still giving them enough cover, but with the blue forcing them forward, this fight is surely inevitable.
They're just descending on Alpachinki. Now Razor Edge again, an angle of this. If they expose themselves to the left side of this hill, Razor Edge are going to get a clean shot. There we go. Maverick actually getting taken down and finished by Rory, so they're also getting involved. But look at this. Outplays is right on top of TSM. They're popping too close over the hill, and he gets down. Razor Edge steal the kill away from them, but TSM outside. Onoctive now in the blue behind TSM. The last man standing for Avangard.
This is so brutal, but Gustav goes down. We're still seeing Alpachinki holding the line, doing as best they can. 1 by 1! He peeks, and 1 by 1, TSM fall. They're being stolen by Razor Edge Gaming, but somehow they've all gone down.
Tornado getting involved as well. They're third party from across.
Tissamar in 15th.
They've managed to be gifted the circle as well. Team Ready, they fought for that compound. They forced Tornado out of that compound, and now they have the absolute central position. TSM once again, the exact same rotation and the exact same problems. Marius, AMPR out the back, must be pulling what's left of his hair out, because he's already said they completely screwed that rotation up, and they've done it again.
Oh, that is shocking behavior. Razor Edge, I don't know how they're still holding on. They've been in so many different fights, but they still have players here. They're about to get into a battle, though. Just over that other side is still Alpachinki, who have 2 players up. Set got knocked. 1 nade could land so well on this. Fast Rail has confirmed that Set is now down, but there you go. Sniped. This is the problem. They have so many players looking their way. You've got M19 looking their way. You had everyone, and they have been going down in 12th position now.
Well, that's what you get for picking a fight in that north and not dealing with the rest of the teams. They allowed M19 to come in, Penta around the side there. But all of these teams that are fighting, they're still outside the circle. The Jokers, Gamer Legion, Q-Rage, all in a triumvirate of battle over on the eastern side. Now the Jokers are going to try and go, but where can they go? Tornado are directly ahead of them. Meanwhile, you can see Reciprocity still sitting there, trying to continue this little battle. The Jokers are going for it, though. They've managed to crash into the compound of Q-Rage. I don't really know what they're doing here because this
It's not
battle
the circle.
is well outside the circle.
Maybe they feel they have to get past this, they have to kill this team to get further forward, potentially. Maybe feeling to be like a dagger in the back down the line, but the nades being ticked, that could work well for them. That's up and over, doesn't quite find the player they need. Kofis is still very much alive. 11 teams remaining, and now the breach begins.
Gamer Legion trying to send it down south. That's going to get caught out. Red Diamonds have their number, it seems. Penta continuing to try and push up the hillside. Actually, Joker's Senya's going to get involved here. He tags up Kamka from the side, and that's going to give Penta a chance to push on Tornado. The third party and working in their favor.
Courage. Oh, Senya, what a play. Checks the corner. Sick intuition, and that is Courage down again. What is going on with these guys? They go from hero to zero. That's not how the story's meant to go, but still, Jokers hold on with 4 alive and working their way forward. I doubted that play towards the compound, but that is a really smart play. M19 on the push-up. Gamer Legion in trouble. Good nade, though.
Good night, M19. Example caught out, as you mentioned, the nade from Mackendart catching Pin and Sid there. The Red Diamonds guys, but Mackendart will go down. Tornado, meanwhile, catching all the damage onto the Penta guys. Jokers have actually, they've been engaged so much in this, they've allowed Jokers to get right on the hill next to them. They're going to have to peek over the side. Kamka's been flushed and done. The Jokers pushing up. They need to get looks like the tab back on his feet, but Penta right on top of Tornado. They come over the back there, and they take them straight down. Rex are going to have to heal out in the blue. This is going to be an absolute cluster down there. Gamer Legion, I think they're done and dusted. There's one left standing, but Tornado just have Compot with Penta right on top of him. He flushes them. 2
kills claimed there for Penta. Tornado, the remaining man, holding on as desperately as he can in the smoke here. This is such a brutal circle, but if you look, Team Ready have been sitting pretty the entire time. They are in such a comfortable spot. The nade, Jokers, they were the ones off to the side listening to all this happen. They weren't particularly in the fight either. They were taking some flack, but that's a great way back through.
No snaking it anymore for Penta. 2 games, they've snuck themselves into first and second. Jokers, of course, being on the tail end of the last game, not having it, but someone we haven't really mentioned is Team Ready. They got themselves in that central compound. They forced Tornado out of it, remember? Yeah. And they've just got the circle gifted to them once again. It's right in there. And similar circle, similar circumstances almost to game number 1. And it was Team Ready that benefited a lot from it. Sauna Boys and Reciprocity still have this little shared neighborhood scheme. The neighborhood watch is on, and Timmy looks like he's the man that's trying to keep an angle on it. Alpachinki, of course, have been out to the north. They've come out in that cluster that happened there. And Red Diamonds, yeah, they're now trying to make the way in and getting engaged by Jokers.
Bestlock needs to hit some absolute bangers here if he wants to get out of the situation he's been in. Not going to be easy either. There's so many potential other eyes going towards you. You've got Compot still behind everything. Blue is on their back, though, and it looks like Gamer Legion's kind of final standing member is being engaged upon from afar from Team Ready. It's not like they're not trying to get into the fights. It's just simply no one's going to run at a compound at this point.
And he's really not going. You can see it's open. I mean, this trees are basically what's saving him. You can see his angle. He's trying to use that tree to as much as he can, but we can see he's basically going to be running in towards the Sauna Boys and Reciprocity. The Jokers, though, the 4-man hold on that Southern Hills is looking pretty strong. Red Diamonds are using all the utility they have to try and keep themselves safe. Senpai getting pushed, but Jokers on the flank.
Yeah, they certainly are. Senya going to find Bestlock. He's the big beast you want to take down. Somehow Senpai snuck his way forward. You see Joker's very aware of that possibility. Senya does confirm the kill as well. The next big thing I'm looking at is how Rec get into this one. I'm pretty sure the Sauna Boys are still very aware that they are next to each other over that side. That nade could be really good in the smoke. Senpai actually survives. Goes a little too far. And I think Dimash just potentially took a shot at his own teammate.
Well, Joker's still just creeping their way in. They've got all the cover. They've got 2 solo players left and right, and Compot's going to nade out. Is he going to go for it? Oh, doesn't matter. Too late. Good night. Gets found. Senya picks another. This is a lot of frags for Jokers, by the way.
It really is.
They've managed to start picking them up. Here we go, though. Here's the battle down south. Senpai goes down. That's 8 kills for the Jokers. And now Sauna Boys. Hamsters, by the way, still in there. Sneaking behind them.
This could be the undoing of Sauna Boys. They could lose out on 1 just for the sake of his progression. And actually, this still plays well for Team Ready. The only person this puts out of position is Jokers, really. It will force maybe 1 team to be remaining out of that western side. But AP still at the hill. You're going to have Jokers on the play, going up and around they go. They need to be proactive in this. They know that. They could potentially find a line of sight they can get up to Team Ready. There could be a way they can occlude their vision going forward. There could be a way they can achieve that. I want to look at the western side as to how the heck 2-3 teams are going to come out of this one alive.
Look at the angle now. You can see Reciprocity. They're kind of behind the wall at the moment. They have to come away from that. There's no cover. There's nowhere for them to go other than into the Sauna Boys or into Alpachinki down low. Either way, it's an open run. I hope they've got some smokes available. But
Look
I will
at this
say,
position. This is such a spoiler spot.
this is their highest position, I think, so far.
Yeah.
They've had a bad first few games. Joker's going for it.
That's what I mean. This is how you can occlude vision. With Team Ready all focusing on one building, they can get closer. Rafi's on the run, and as is Scoom, they're deciding they want to start their move now. Rafi has got some cover, but that could then bode poorly if the Sauna Boys turn around and look towards him, which could be the case. Right now, Alpachinki don't need to be taking this fight. They just want to.
I think it was a very hopeful nade from G from you there. There we go. Now he lines it up a bit better this time. I think he had like a flick of the mouse just before, trying to hope he found something. Meanwhile, them shots are drawing the attention. Jokers.
Oh, that's so good.
Night. I was going to say the shots are drawing the attention of the Jokers. And just like that, done and dusted. Reciprocity are trying to steal an advantage here and get past the Sauna Boys.
The issue is they become open to Team Ready potentially and Jokers. I don't know what the lines of sight are. This is the tricky thing. We can see a map and we can see kind of some perspectives, but there is a little dip between the Sauna Boys and where Team Ready are. I don't know how... Yeah, there it is. So that's what they're holding on. They're holding that silhouette peak. If the Sauna Boys have to push forward, they don't need to necessarily. They're still in the circle. This gets scary. If Jokers get line of sight, it gets scary, but they don't want to overexpose themselves to Team Ready either. This is the current situation. It's a stalemate. If you see a couple of shots coming back and forth, most of these are revivable, barring Hamster, who's been... How is he alive?
He got took behind that box. It's not going to hold him for long, but Tab gets caught out. Iroh shows just a little bit there, and Iroh takes his face off, and now they're down to 3. It's a 3v3v3 with a couple of solos and a duo in between. And as you were talking about that dip, it actually benefits them so much because the Sauna Boys are going to have to engage the Jokers, and Reciprocity can just sit and watch.
Senya's looking for an angle on it. That's what scares me. Scoom's in the circle. This will force the Sauna Boys forward. In Rek's mind, potentially, you're hoping Jokers engage on Sauna Boys, Hamster does something, and Scoom and Rafi can just hunker down and stay alive. I don't know if they're going to be given that sort of gift. That's the thing. If the Sauna Boys have smokes and ways to create avenues, then it's interesting. D-Mash needs to be relevant in this because suddenly that southern push becomes the next big entry point. You're going to see the rest of the Jokers fall back to position because Team Ready can still see a lot of this, but I think D-Mash might have caught a glimpse of Scoom potentially. I'm not sure.
He's pushing down for it. He definitely caught an angle of something because he suddenly moved. He's been holding that wall the whole time and just charged down. Jokers are trying to make a big swing all the way around the south side, all the way around the west to the southern edge, realizing that's the best place to be. That gives them that angle. But the new position they've moved to gives them a possibility to push onto Reciprocity. Is Senya going to go and try and push this? He just smoked it. I don't think he smoked his approach.
I think he just wants to get close, potentially. Senya's got a glimpse. He needs to line up. Oh, no!
He hit the tree.
He's definitely... Rafi pushes forward because he's terrified. He's in the smoke next to the Sauna Boys. Scoom is just on the floor holding his breath.
Timmy might get shot now.
And exactly, all eyes turn towards this fight. Kemba finds Hamster. That's gone down. Rafi's somehow behind them all. What is Rafi up to?
Where's he going? I don't know. The Hamster's gone down. Now he sees vision. Now he realizes, this is not good. This is not good. He's going to get caught out. Senya will take him down. Scoom, meanwhile, is in amongst the Sauna Boys. He's trying his best finish impressions as he can. Sitting on top of them, but tries to spray it down. He's completely whiffed it. Finds Timmy, eventually spins around, but can't get Jorski down. And Reciprocity will go down in 4th place. Now the Sauna Boys. Now they're in a good spot. They're in a great spot because Team Ready has to deal with Senya now.
Correct.
Well, Jokers and Senya.
Yeah. So the Jokers are kind of keeping in Team Ready, and they're both going to fight each other in theory, unless that circle completely just, ruins them all. But the point is that Sauna Boys have nothing to directly worry about. They don't have to overpeak. They shouldn't overpeak, should I say. I don't know if they have any sort of DMRs or snipers here, but they're so close to the circle. That's the thing. They should be fine here, Sauna Boys. They should be the final line. They hold it, and the Jokers or Team Ready have to just brutalize each other.
And there's no window on this edge side the Sauna Boys have to worry about from Team Ready. They only need to worry about the Jokers unless Ready pop out the house. So they have safety effectively, and more importantly, they have the center point of the circle, so people have to come out to them. The Molly just brushing the legs of Team Ready, not going to catch them out too much, but now they have to make the move, and they're going to have to push onto the Jokers. They want to go out the back of the house, it seems, and try and push around. They're going to come to the left side of Timmy here, so he needs to be on his guard.
Yeah, Iroh's just waiting to make sure no one's behind them. That's fine. Sauna Boys will see this, though. And as soon as the Sauna Boys start shooting, they don't have to overcommit. Surely the Jokers then angle themselves for this. We need to keep eyes on where the Jokers go. If the Jokers start overextending as well, they're in trouble. Already Jorski is there, and this is when they should hold the line. Sauna Boys need to just put up the wall, but Senya has pushed very close. This becomes deadly. Suddenly a nade, a flash, a smoke, anything to get him even closer could be the undoing here. Jokers have played this well.
They've allowed him to get to the center point. The blue is going to force them all to fight. You can see it's going to start squeezing in slowly and surely. It's all going to happen at once. 3 teams, 3 alive on each, 9 men standing. Who will be the last man? Sauna Boys picked up the win against the Jokers in the last round. Sauna Boys catches 1 out. Jokers catches 2 out. That's beautiful death flush down. Nuki gets himself 1, but instantly knocked in reply. Senya gets taken down. The Jokers go down in 30. It's on Team Ready versus the Sauna Boys.
Let's see what the boys over on Team Ready actually do with this one. They're still further away from the center of the circle. Iroh's in a really good spot, though. Mert's still alive. It is going to be down to the last bit of play here. It's Nuki looking for info. That's really smart. And now Iroh's already damaged up. You're going to know that the Sauna Boys have the information, and they're working with it.
He got caught on the blue. He hasn't got time to heal, and that's cost him. Iroh gets taken down. Matgungur gets cut off, and the Sauna Boys do it again when they get, this time, first place, 9 kills. And they finally break the duck. So a first and second finish for the Sauna Boys. Tixu was the hero of the last game, but went down so early on in El Pozo. But the boys